The second transformation that we are going to discuss is reflections. There are two types of reflections. There's the reflection across the x-axis. So here is the x-axis. You would be flipping it like this. And then there is reflection across the y-axis. This is the y-axis, and you would be reflecting like this. So let me go ahead and show you. So across the x-axis, this is the x-axis. I would take this and I would flip it across. So you would have to count. So let's do point by point. Vamos a hacer punto por punto. Okay, so I'm going to do this point. It looks like, what is the distance of this point to the x-axis? ¿Cuál es la distancia de este punto al x-axis? It looks like 3. 1, 2, 3. So what I would do is I'm going to go 3 to the other side. Es una distancia de 3 y voy a ir 3 espacios en el otro lado. So 1, 2, 3. I would do it like that and put your point. And then you would do it again, otra vez. Let's do this one. 3 spaces again. 1, 2, 3. So again, 3. Otra vez 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this point, este punto is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So 4 to the other side. Entonces 4 al otro lado. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so you would have the same image, but reflected across the x-axis like a mirror. La misma imagen, el mismo imagen, pero en el otro lado como un espejo, okay? So you would do this, you would have to look at the negative. Necesitamos mirar al negativo para saber. So for the x-axis, you will have a negative outside of the parentheses. Para hacer un espejo con el x-axis, necesitamos un negativo afuera de los paréntesis. So outside the parenthesis, you would do a reflection across the x. Afuera de los paréntesis, voy a hacer una reflexión con el x. Okay, now across the y-axis, okay, so reflection across the y, you would do kind of the same thing. So point by point, punto por punto. So let's start with this point. This is how many spaces to the y. ¿Cuántos espacios hasta el y? 1, 2. So I'm going to go 2 to the other side. Entonces 2 al otro lado. 1, 2. And then again here. How many? 1, 2, 3. 3. So other side. Otro lado. 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this one, esta is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, entonces 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is a reflection across the y. Este es una reflexión con el y. Okay, and to do that one, you would need a negative inside the parenthesis for the y. So negativo adentro de los paréntesis por la y. So remember, x is negative outside, x es negativo afuera, and y is negative inside, y es negativo adentro. You're going to need to remember this. Necesitan recordar este. All right, let's go ahead and go to our first example, nuestro primer ejemplo. Okay, so it says, examples. Determine the effects on the graph of f of x equals 2x minus 3. So this is my original equation. Esta es mi ecuación original. And this is my new, y esta es mi nueva. So let's go ahead and put our old, and so we can compare. So our old is f of x equals 2x minus 3. And my new, mi nuevo, is this one, g of x equals negative, parenthesis, 2x minus 3. Now we will compare. Ahora vamos a comparar. Okay, so what is different? ¿Qué es diferente? Well, obviously, the letter in the front is the name, so that can be different. That is fine. La letra enfrente es diferente. La letra enfrente es diferente porque es el nombre y está bien. So what else is different? ¿Qué más es diferente? Well, what else is different is I have this minus outside of the parenthesis. Tengo un menos afuera de los paréntesis. Do you see that? So I have a minus outside. Okay, outside the parenthesis. So what is minus outside? Menos afuera, Minus outside, that is across the x-axis. That is a reflection across the x-axis. So across the x-axis. So let's go ahead and write a sentence. Vamos a escribir una oración. So we're going to write g of x was reflected across the x-axis. Hay una reflexión con el x-axis. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and show it. Vamos a mostrarlo with the graph, con la gráfica. So I'm going to graph my original. Voy a hacer una gráfica con mi original. So I have, so remember f of x is y, f de x is y. So y equals 2x minus 3, 2x menos 3, 2x minus 3. The number with x is m, el número con x is m, and this is b. Okay, b is the y-intercept, b is el y-intercept, so my y-intercept is -3. So y-intercept -3 on the y, it's right over here. And my slope is 2, mi slope is 2. Remember, I need two numbers, no number down, it's 1. This is positive, so up, and this one is always right, siempre para la derecha. So up to, 1 right, arriba 2 y una a la derecha. So up to, 1, 2, 1 to the right, 1. And we're gonna make a line. Here we go. Careful. Con mucho cuidado. This is the original. Esta es la original. I'm just going to call it f of x. The original is called fx. So we're just going to put f of x. That's the name. Okay, I'm going to do the new one in a different color. Voy a usar un diferente color por la nueva, which is g of x. Now, it was reflected across the x. Un reflexión con el x. So, where's x? ¿Dónde está x? It's right here. So, I'm going to flip this over like this. Okay? Use your points. Voy a usar los puntos. So, let's look at this one. Esta. We're looking at x. What's the distance? ¿Cuánto es la distancia to the x? 1, uno. So I'm going to go 1 to the other side. So right over here. Okay, and the other point, el otro punto, this one. What's the distance to the x? La distancia hasta el x. 1, 2, 3. 3. So go 3 to the other side. 3 al otro lado. 1, 2, 3. And just connect. Y vamos a crear una conexión. There. That is reflected across the x. So the x is the mirror here. La x es el espejo aquí. And the name of this one is g of x. There. That's it. So go ahead and put your graph in here. And we're going to go ahead and go to example 2. Ejemplo 2. Okay, so for example 2, we have the same original, el mismo original. So old, viejo, is f of x equals 2x minus 3. And my new, mi nueva, is h of x. H de x equals this one. 2 times negative x minus 3. Oops, there's the parenthesis. Okay. So, let's see what is different. ¿Qué es diferente? Well, here is different. I have a minus x inside the parenthesis. Tengo un menos adentro de los paréntesis. Okay, so minus inside adentro the parenthesis. So minus inside, what is minus inside? Minus inside is across the y-axis. Across the y-axis. So So let's go ahead and write an equation, a sentence. This is h of x. H of x was reflected across the y-axis. So let's go ahead and do this again. Vamos a hacer otra vez. Get your graph. Okay, so remember my old one, it's y equals 2x minus 3. 2 is with x, so that is m, and negative 3 is my b. Y-intercept. Y-intercept negative 3, so y negative 3. My slope is 2, divide 1. Positive 2 is up, 1 is right. So 2 up, 1 right. It's the same like before, lo mismo que antes. So 2 up, 1 right, with a line, con una línea. This is f of x, es f de x. Okay, now, this time it's different, ahora es diferente, because we're doing across the y-axis. The y-axis is the mirror, el y-axis es el espejo. Where is y? ¿Dónde está y? Right here. So I'm gonna flip this like that, okay? So I'm gonna take this and I need to go to the other side. Necesito ir al otro lado. So with the points, con los puntos. What's the distance from here to the y? ¿Cuál es la distancia aquí? ¿Cuántos? So 1, uno. So I'm gonna go 1 to the other side, uno al otro lado. And this is touching the line y. Y esta está tocando la línea y, which is fine, que está bien. So I don't need to move it. We're just gonna go ahead and make our line. So if it's on the reflection line, don't change anything. Si está sobre la línea de reflexión, no mueve, no cambia nada. Okay, so there it is. And this is h of x. All right, so go ahead and copy that down. Pause the video if you need to pause the video. Example 3. Find an equation for g of x when g of x equals negative f of x. Graph both functions. All right, so first, primero, let's see what is this. I have negative f of x. I have a minus. Is that inside the parenthesis or outside? ¿Está dentro de los paréntesis o está afuera? It looks like it's outside, afuera, outside. Okay, so what is minus outside? ¿Qué es menos afuera? Across the x. So minus outside, across the x. So let's go ahead and write that down. Vamos a escribirlo ahora. Okay. So what they want, que ellos quieren, is to find an equation, encuentra una ecuación for g of x por g de x, which is the equation when it's reflected across the x-axis. So I need to put a minus outside. So my new one, the name is not f, el nombre no es f, it's now g. Hey. So g of x equals. I need to put the minus outside. Necesito poner el menos afuera. So put the minus right now. Pon el menos ahora. Put your parenthesis. Copy all this. Copy todo este. 2 divide 3, x plus 5, and close. Y ciérrala. Just like that. Okay? Easy. Now we need, so you see here the minus is outside. Puedes ver que ahora el menos está afuera. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to simplify. Vamos a simplificar. So I'm going to copy g of x equals. Now, what number here if there's no number? ¿Cuál número está aquí si no hay número? 1, uno. And there's 2 parts here. Y hay 2 partes aquí, 1 and 2. And I'm going to go ahead and distribute like this. So I'm going to do -1 parenthesis 2 divide 3x, close, cierra, separate, separar, plus, repeat, vamos a repetir, -1 with the other one, con la otra 5. Just like that, we're distributing. Copy g of x equals. We need to do these parentheses first. So put in your calculator -1 times 2/3. So let me go ahead and put that here. So -1, parenthesis 2/3, no x, close. It's -2/3. Copy x here. Copy plus. Put in the calculator -1 times 5. -5. And then what is plus minus? Más y menos? Minus. So copy again. G of x equals, copy -2/3 x, plus minus is -5. So this is the reflection equation. Okay, so this is my old. This is my new, right over here. And let's go ahead and graph them. Okay, let's graph the old first. Vamos a hacer una gráfica con la vieja primero. So I have here y equals 2 divide 3x plus 5. This is m. This is b. M is with x, M está con X. Okay, so 5 is the y-intercept, 5 es el y-intercept, so that's right over here. Okay, and then the slope is 2/3. 2 divide 3. 2 is positive, so I will go up. And then this denominator, the number down is always up to the right. Siempre está a la derecha. So I'm going to go 2 up. So I need to make space. Necesito hacer espacio. So 1, 2. Okay. 2 up, 3 right. 2 arriba, 3 derecha. 1, 2. So 2 up, 3 right. 1, 2, 3. Should be about here. And we're going to go ahead and make a line. Let's see. So let me see here. This is, the name is f of x. Now we're going to go ahead and graph this one. This is m. This is b. Y-intercept -5. Y-intercept -5. So y, -5. And the slope is -2, 3. -2, that is down negative, and this one's always to the right, siempre para la derecha. So down 2 and 3 right. So down 2, 1, 2, and 3 right. 1, 2, 3. Make a line. Let's see. And the name of that one is G of X. Okay, so they said the mirror is the X. El espejo es el X. Okay, so do you see here how these are kind of flipped? Es una reflexión, like that. Do you see that? Go ahead and copy. Pause the video if you need to. We're going to go ahead and go to example 4. right, example 4. Find an equation for g of x when g of x equals f of negative x. Graph both functions. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. I have this. Okay, this is minus inside or outside, adentro o afuera. It looks like inside the parenthesis. Okay, what is inside the parenthesis? ¿Qué es adentro de los paréntesis? Okay, inside minus across the y-axis. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and do the new name, el nuevo nombre. It's g of x. So g of x equals, we're going to copy this, but we're going to put a minus inside. Vamos a copiar este, pero con un menos adentro de los paréntesis. So a minus inside the parenthesis with the x. So un menos adentro de los paréntesis con el x. So copy 2, divide 3, but the x will be in parenthesis minus x, like that. Copy plus 5. So copy g of x equals, this we're going to multiply. Vamos a multiplicar. Okay, if there's no number, what number is inside? Si no hay número, ¿cuál número está adentro? 1, uno. So I'm going to put in the calculator 2/3 times negative 1. So I'm going to put 2/3 to the right, parenthesis, negative 1, no x, close, cierra. It's negative 2/3. Copy x plus 5. So this is my new, and this is my old. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph that. So this is my m, this is my b, my y-intercept is 5, my slope is 2 divide 3, this positive up, this is always right, siempre derecha, so up 2, 3 right, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So go ahead and do your line. It's the same like the last one. It's the same equation. This is f of x. Okay, now we need to do g of x. Okay, this is m. This is b. So my y-intercept b is 5. So again, I will put something here, positive 5 on the y. The slope is negative 2 divide 3. So negative 2 is down, 3 always to the right, siempre para la derecha. So go down 2, 1, 2, and 3 to the right, 3 a la derecha. 1, 2, 3. And you do your line. This one, the name, el nombre, g of x. Okay, so this is my equation, and this is a reflection across the y-axis. Es una reflexión con el y-axis. So this is the y, and you can see that they are the same. Do you see how this goes like that? And then this like that. So boom, boom, boom. Okay, the same on the other side, but opposite. El mismo en el otro lado, pero opuesto. Okay, example 5. Ejemplo 5. All right. Find an equation for g of x when g of x equals negative f of x. Graph both functions. So I have negative f of x. So I have a minus inside, adentro, or outside, afuera of the parentheses. Outside, afuera. Outside, afuera of the parentheses. Okay, what is that? ¿Qué es eso? Minus outside, menos afuera. Minus outside, x. Reflection across the x axis. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our new equation. Vamos a crear una nueva ecuación. So our new name is g of x. Nuestro nuevo nombre es g of x equals. And I need to put a minus outside. Necesito poner un menos afuera. So minus parenthesis copy. So you do a minus after the equal, después del equal pone menos, with the parenthesis copy the rest. So equals minus parenthesis copy. Igual menos paréntesis y copy. Okay, copy g of x equals. What number here if there's no number? ¿Cuál número está aquí si no hay número? 1, uno. And there's two parts, y hay dos partes. 1, 2. If there's no number here, what number si no hay número? 1. So I'm going to do negative 1 times 3 and negative 1 times negative 1x. So negative 1 paréntesis 3 paréntesis. Plus to separate, más para separar, repetir, negative 1, paréntesis, the other part, la otra parte, negative 1x. Okay, so we're going to do g of x equals negative 1 times 3, negativo 1 por 3, negative 3, copy plus, copy más, negative 1 times negative 1, negativo 1 por negativo 1, it's positive 1, es positivo 1, copy x. Now remember, I need x in the front. Recuerda que necesito el x en frente, so I'm going to need to go ahead and switch. Necesito cambiarlos. So, g of x equals positive 1x minus 3. This is my new. Now remember, the 1 in front of the x is optional. El 1 en frente del x es opcional. But I'm going to keep it because I'm going to graph. Pero voy a dejarlo ahí porque voy a hacer una gráfica. So this is my new. And then this is my old. Let's go ahead and make a graph. Vamos a hacer una gráfica. Okay, so this one first. Now, to graph it, para graficarla, I do need to fix it. Necesito arreglarla. This is f of x. Remember, f of x is y. F de x es y. Y equals, I need to switch. So this is negative x, positive 3. What number here if there's no number? ¿Cuál número aquí si no hay número? 1. Uno. So my number with x is m. Mi número con x is m. And this is b. Este es b. Okay. My y-intercept b is 3. Mi y-intercept b es 3. So y, 3. And my slope negative 1. So negative 1. If there's only one number, I need to put divide. No number, 1. Negative, down, negativo, abajo. This is always right, siempre derecha. So 1 down, 1 right. 1 down, 1 right. Uno abajo, uno derecha. And make a line. The name, el nombre, f of x. Oh, draw that, very good. Okay, now for the new one, mi nueva, okay? The 1 is m, the b is negative 3, okay? So my y-intercept is negative 3, mi y-intercept negative 3, so y, negative 3. Slope 1, slope 1. I need two numbers, so divide, put 1. This is positive, up, always right, siempre derecha. So 1 up, 1 right. We're going to go ahead and draw my line. Oops, I was supposed to do it with a different color, con diferente color, because it's a different one. So let me just do it in the red. Okay, this is the new one, la nueva, which is g of x. Okay, so as you can see here, the mirror is the x, el espejo es el x. So this is the x. You can see there it's the same. Do you see that? Okay, so copy, pause if you need. Make sure you are copying everything, every detail. Necesitan copiar todos los detalles, todo. Okay, last example, nuestro último ejemplo. Example 6. Find an equation for g of x when g of x equals f of negative x. Graph both equations. So take a look here. I have a minus, tengo un menos. Inside or outside the parenthesis? Adentro o afuera de los paréntesis? Looks like inside, adentro. So what is that? ¿Qué es eso? Minus inside, menos adentro. Minus inside. Minus inside, y-axis. So across the y-axis. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do our new name, nuestro nuevo nombre, g of x equals. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, but the x will be with a minus inside the parenthesis. So I'm going to need to do the x with a minus inside the parenthesis. So 3 minus, okay, the x is different. I'm going to do parenthesis minus x like that. Okay? Now, copy g of x equals. This is 3 minus x. Este es 3 menos x. Like that. Okay? So g of x equals. What is minus? Menos es qué? It's plus. Minus is plus. Menos is más. So this is 3 plus x. And then remember, I do need that x in the front. Necesito el x enfrente, so I will need to switch. So g of x equals x positive 3 plus 3. This is my new. This is my old. Let's graph. Okay, so remember, we're going to need to fix that again, right? We're going to need to fix that. So this is y equals, let's go ahead and switch it, negative x plus 3, no number in front, 1. Okay. This is m, this is b. My y-intercept is 3, y-intercept 3, so I'm going to put 3 here. My slope is negative 1, negativo 1, so I would need to do divided by 1. Negative down, negativo abajo, and then this one is right, derecha. So down 1, right 1, line, línea. The name, el nombre, f of x. Different color, diferente color for the new one. Okay. Here. What number if there's no number? ¿Cuál número si no hay número? 1, uno. So my m is 1 and my b is 3. Y-intercept 3, y-intercept 3. So y3, it's right there. Okay, and then my slope is 1. Mi slope is 1, positive 1. Divide, no number, put 1. Positive up, positivo arriba. This one always right, siempre derecha. So up 1, right 1. Line, línea. The name, el nombre, g of x. Okay, so here you can see the mirror is the y-axis. El espejo es el y-axis. This is the y, and you can see there. The left and the right are similar there.